In this video, I want to give you an overview of the deal packaging business and exactly what it entails, including the compliance that you are going to need to adhere to when it comes to doing things properly, legally, and of course, ethically. We're also going to be covering mindset in terms of the right mindset that you need to approach this serious property business with if you want to give yourself the best chance of success. And I'm going to give you a Goliath top tip that you need to really take on board if you really want to build a successful, sustainable, long-term deal packaging business. But before we get to that top tip, what exactly is deal packaging? Well, deal packaging is finding property deals, matching those with property investors, and charging a fee for introducing one to the other. Now, it sounds simple, but there are several elements of that process that you're going to need to follow in order to justify the fee that you charge. Needless to say, the more that you do, the better service that you offer, the more things that you do for your clients, the better fees you are going to be able to charge. So it's important to understand that if you're setting up this serious deal packaging business, that you understand the processes and the systems that you have in place are going to effectively determine exactly what fees you're able to charge for your service. Now, what is also very important when it comes to understanding a deal packaging business is that there is certain compliance that you have to adhere to by law. Now, we are considered property agents. Property agents are classed in that same bracket as estate agents, lettings and property management agents. And what that means is that we are governed by the Estate Agency Act. And being governed by the Estate Agency Act means there are certain things that we must be part of. The first one is being part of a property ombudsman. Now, a property ombudsman effectively gives the consumer, i.e. your clients, a way of querying a complaint that hasn't been handled internally. They're not happy with how you handle it internally, and it gives an ombudsman to take that complaint forward. Now, as a property agency, we're dealing with property transactions. At some point, there might be a complaint from either party, and they have the ombudsman to go to if they're not satisfied with how you deal with their complaint in the first place. So you must be a member of a property ombudsman. What's also important is, as a property agency, we come across clients with large sums of cash, and unfortunately there is scope potential for people to be fraudulent with that in terms of property transactions. So another part of compliance is that we must be registered with HMRC for anti-money laundering regulations, AMLR. Now, what this means is that we must report anything suspicious to HMRC when it comes to money laundering, when it comes to suspicious transactions around property itself. This means we have to register with HMRC. There is a fee associated with that, and there are also policies and procedures that we must have in place that will get checked potentially at some point. So we need to ensure that we comply with all of that side of the process as well. We also need to be insured correctly. Professional indemnity insurance is an absolute must. And then you're going to have maybe have things like employer's liability, public liability, depending on how you set your deal packaging business up. So very important to remember all of those things. Plus, because we are handling personal information, personal data, property homeowners' names, investors' names, all that stuff, we must also be registered with the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office for Data Protection. And what that means, we must protect our clients' data in all the right ways, both digitally and paper-based, of course, if you are still holding paper-based copies. And you must be registered with the ICO to demonstrate that you are going to comply with the rules and regulations that they set out. So, as you can tell, it is a serious property business. This is not just simply a side hustle that you could just charge a fee whenever you want because you found something that you don't like. The minute that you charge a fee for the service that you offer, you straight away fall into deal packaging. You straight away fall into the rules, the regulations, the laws surrounding a deal packaging agency. You must comply at the risk, if you do not, of being seriously heavily fined, and who knows what might happen if something were to go wrong on the property as well. So it's not worth the risk. It's certainly something you need to bear in mind when it comes to setting a deal packaging business up. Now, what that brings me on to is the mindset. I mentioned it just there. You have to be serious about property investing, deal packaging as a serious long-term business. The activity that you are going to be carrying out on a day-to-day basis involves things such as lead generation activity, deal analysis, making offers, chasing offers, progressing the deals that have had offers accepted on them, chasing paperwork, contracts, working with investors, regular communication. This is a serious property business. I will repeat this throughout this course, but it is very important that you understand that it is certainly something that will involve a lot of effort, a lot of consideration, and certainly a lot of headspace, especially when it comes to getting things started. Now, there are several ways to leverage your business by outsourcing lots of the daily tasks, but ultimately the buck stops with you. You are getting paid that fee income. The responsibility lies with you to ensure that every element of your business is working correctly. With the right mindset, however, and you're not getting into this as a get-rich-quick scheme, which unfortunately some people do, and those people tend to be the ones that get distracted and move on very quickly and lose all momentum just as things are about to turn. Well, with the right mindset from the start, you're going to give yourself the best chance of success when it comes to your deal packaging business. Now, my top tip, which is what I promised you at the beginning of the video, in order to keep that right mindset, in order to keep that focus, in order to keep that motivation driving forward, my advice to you is absolutely 100% when you're first starting out to focus one strategy in one area. And you're going to be able to discover this by doing your area research. You're going to be able to discover this by knowing exactly what it is that you are interested in doing. But the fact is that if you want to try and do multiple strategies in multiple areas when you haven't got experience of doing it full stop, you are going to struggle massively. It's going to be a massive undertaking for you to take lead generation activity, negotiation, area research, working with agents, building a network. It's just not worth it, and you're going to lose momentum if you ever got it in the first place, and you will not build a long-term sustainable deal packaging business. So my advice to you, stick to one strategy, and that strategy needs to be something that you have a genuine interest in. Don't just choose a property investment strategy because you think it's going to make you the most money. The reality is that all strategies, when deal packaging, have investors looking for those particular types of property deals. So the best way to stay focused is to choose something that you are interested in, because that's going to mean when things do get tough, when things involve a bit more work, you're going to be a lot more determined to push through those times and come out the other side stronger than just get distracted by the next shiny penny. So very important to choose a strategy that you are interested in. And then if you're going to choose the area that's closest to you, you need to ensure that that strategy works within that area. If it doesn't, then just simply work your way out in little 2-mile radii, until you find an area where your strategy is going to work, where investors are also looking for that particular strategy in that particular area. But we'll come on to all that detail a little bit later on in the course. But for now, just to recap, deal packaging comes with its compliance and legal requirements, but you can charge very healthy fees for doing this process. Make sure that you're getting into this for the right reason. Deal packaging is not quick money. It's certainly not regular fee income that you can rely on every month, 2 deals, 3 deals a month, until you start gathering that momentum. And most people fall at the first hurdle because they've not gotten into this with the right motivation, the right intentions. And then really important top tip, Goliath top tip, focus on one strategy in one area. Get your systems and processes in place, get that momentum coming in, get those first few fees, Then you can decide to maybe go for other investment strategies in that area or go into different areas with the same strategy. That's totally up to you, but I would certainly say that's where you're starting to get more advanced and actually you're starting to build up that serious property business. So that's it for this video. Look forward to seeing you in the next video, where we're going to be talking about lead generation and, more importantly, understanding who your prospects are to give yourself the best chance of generating excellent property leads.